Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about my bookish goals. Now yesterday I uploaded a video with my goals for my just life in general and my YouTube channel, and I also have some bookish goals because I didn't want to put it all on one layout because there is so many bookish goals that I want to do this year. So what I did was I took a picture of a whole bunch of books that I would like to read this year, and then I took one of my new collections that I bought. I only bought one new collection, and it is from Simple Stories, and it's the new one. It's called Romance. Yeah, that's it. Simple Stories Romance. And I just ordered it before Christmas. And that's the only collection in 12 by 12 that I bought since last March. So I think that's pretty good. And the best part is I'm already using it. And, saying that, like yesterday, I when I put up my video, I said I want to use what I have. But sometimes it's nice just to get a little bit of new stuff. So that's what I did. I only got one collection. I kept my order really, low. And I've already made 2 pages using this collection. And that's another thing. If I'm going to get a collection, it's because I really want it and I want to use it right away. I don't want to put it in my stash and that it stays there for years and years and not being used. But you won't see me buying a lot of stuff this year because, again, like I had bought a few collections back in March, and then I hadn't bought anything until December. And then I thought, you know what, a nice new little collection will be nice. And I just loved all the embellishments in that collection. And another thing that I loved is a lot of times these collections, there's so many pieces to the collection, and it ends up, costing a lot of money if you want to buy the whole collection. But what I did was, this was a smallish collection, and I just got a few things, and it was enough to make it so that I'm super happy. And like I said, I've already done 2 layouts with it, and I know I'm going to use it again because I absolutely love all the pattern papers and I love the embellishments. And I also did get the washi tape, and I've already used the washi tape a couple times too. So I took one of the pattern papers and I cut about 3 inches and I made a top and bottom. I didn't want to use that whole pattern paper because I love it so much. And then I took the second pattern paper, which had writing on it, and it kind of reminded me of books. And that's why I wanted to use that pattern paper with this, because yesterday I talked about my goals in general, and today I'm talking about my bookish goals. And so it reminded me of that. Now I'm looking for a washi tape, and then I found this one that has numbers all over it. And, with goals, you're talking numbers and how many of this I want to do and how many of that. So it was perfect. I did print my photo on my Canon Selfie. It's about a 3 by 5, and then I mounted it on some light pink cardstock. And I know I want to mount it again, and I love this pattern right here, but I also love that heart, and I'm trying to figure out how I can still use that heart and then use the paper to mat my photo. So I'm going to take my craft knife and I'm going to just cut roughly around the heart. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut it out. And then that way I can use that heart as an embellishment. Everything I used on this page was from that collection. But like I said yesterday in my video, one thing that I want to do this year is use what I have. And what I have a lot of is stamps, and I don't use them enough. So I'm going to take out a couple of my stamps that are bookish related, and I'm going to do a bit of stamping on this layout, which I haven't done a ton in the last year. I've done it some, but I haven't done a ton. So I'm looking for some ink. I'm going to end up taking a pink and a gray, and I'm going to ink the edges of, I think it's something coral, and then hickory smoke. And I'm going to ink the edges of the pattern paper. I just don't know if I want to do the pink or the gray. So I'm going to take out both. I'm going to do the gray on this, and then I'm going to end up doing pink on that pattern paper. And I had put the washi tape at the top of the 4x6 card. I love those Project Life 4x6 cards. I use them all the time for journaling. So that's where I'm going to put my bookish goals, is on that card. I'm going to end up basically putting sort of like two 4x6 blocks next to each other. And then I'm going to use that heart with the floral as a big embellishment. Now this is where I decide, yep, I'm going to do some of stamping, and I'm going to use these. These are from Kelly Perky, and it has books on it. So I went to the other side of the room, and I'm finding some inks from my Mind's Eye, from Hero Arts, and I'm going to choose 4 colors. I'm going to choose a pink, a gray, an aqua, and a mint. Now this layout took me an hour to complete, and it's not bad, knowing that I also did some stamping, because I find sometimes when I do stamping, it does take me a little bit of time. So while I'm testing out the colors, I want to see which colors, are going to work best. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my bookish goals. Now on my Goodreads goal, I put 85 books that I want to read this year. I want to start 15 new series this year, and I want to finish 10 series. Now, I have to say, I did really well last year. So I think of all the series that I started last year, which last year I started 15 series, I only have 2, I believe, that I'm not caught up. 2 or 3, and it's because the book is not, no, sorry. There's only 2 that I'm not caught up, and I have the books. But I have a few that the books are only coming out like this year. So I'll be finishing some of those up for sure. But I want to finish 10 series. I want to read 12 books that are 2018 releases. I want to try and read the books the year that they're released, at least 1 a month. That's my goal. I want to read every day. I want to read 10 books that are over 500 pages, because what I noticed is last year I only read 6 that was over 500. So I'd like to tackle some more bigger books that I have. I want to read 12 books from my Kindle, because I do have quite a bit of books on my Kindle, so I want to make sure that I read those. I want to read at least 60 books from my bookshelf so that I already own. So if you take the 60 plus the 12 plus the other 12, the 12 new releases, that is 84. So the math works out pretty good. And the other thing is I want to buy less books, so spend less time on Book Outlet, which I was really good. The last order I placed on Book Outlet was in September, and then I placed another one in December. So that's pretty good. It was only once in 4 months. And then my last goal is to make a TBR every month. So basically plan out the books that I want to read every month, but not just every month. I made a list of 100 books from my shelves that I want to read. So whatever 85 books that I read, I want it to come from, except for those 12 books. So, but I made a list of 100, and out of those 100 is where I want to pick my books from. Now, one series that I want to read this year, and I know it's going to shock a few people that I haven't read this series yet, but I haven't read Harry Potter. I've watched all the movies, but I haven't read the books. So starting in January, I'm going to start Harry Potter. I haven't started it yet because I'm already reading I'm reading 3 books right now. But I want to read the entire series of Harry Potter. So that's one of the series that I know that I absolutely want to finish. So again, my title is Bookish Goals, and that set of alpha didn't have any numbers, and the numbers that I could find that looked kind of similar was way bigger than my title. So I'm going to decide instead to squeeze my title in the middle of those 2 cards and then put the 2018 inside of that heart, and that works out really nicely. I like that. And then the stamping that I did, I ended up stamping 4 books, and then one of the stamp set. The other one that I used is also from Ali Edwards, and it has a lot of bookish thing on there too. And I stamped the next chapter. Now I wanted, again, with the theme that I want to use my supplies more, I have these epoxy circles that I can make my own flares. So I decided that I was going to make a few using my stamps. So one of them says read this, and the other one says love this, and the other one is a stack of books. So I'm going to stamp a few of them. And then another one actually that I'm going to do that's not with a epoxy circle is, it says love books, and it's like in a little speech bubble. I'm just taking it out right now. So I end up using 2 with epoxy, and then that one there that says love books. And I'm going to end up using them on this layout. So again, for this year too, I want to make sure that I use what I have. I have, a ton of supplies that I find that I'm not using enough, especially like tools. So this way, I got to use a punch, and I got to use some stamps, and I got to use some inks, and also some washi tape that I hadn't used in a long time. Oh, and yes, I did use another stamp set. It says story, and then I put it right over top the 2018. And then under my photo, there was another stamp set that says I love a good story. So I put that right underneath my stack of books. Now, some of the books that you can see in my photo here, there's 6 of Crows, which I'm reading right now. I think I'm at page close to 70. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really liking it. I read the Grisha trilogy last year because I wanted, a lot of people say that you should read the Grisha trilogy first because then you'll understand the magical system and all that stuff. So when you start this book, that you won't be at a loss. And I totally agree, because when they're talking about fabricators and, the healers and stuff, I know what they're talking about. So I'm glad I read the Grisha trilogy first, but I'm so happy that I started reading this book. Now, when I picked it up, I thought it was going to be one of my books that was over 500 pages, but no, it's only like 470, I think. So it's not quite a 500-page book, but it is a big book, but it's not going to count as one of my, 10 books that I want to read that is over 500 books. So I want to read that book. Caraval, I want to read that because the other book, I think it's only a duology, and the second book is coming out this year. So I'll wait, and whenever the second book is just about ready to come out, maybe the same month that it's ready to come out, then I'll start reading that book. Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I'm reading that book right now. I'm reading 3 books right now, so I can't read them all really fast, but I think I'm 7% done. No, 10% done. So I think I'm at 30 something, 35 or something like that. So I'm really enjoying that too, but it just started. Warcross by Marie Lu. Can't wait to read that book. I want to read the Young Elite series by Marie Lu, and the book that's in the picture is The Midnight Star, which is the 3rd book. I haven't read the first 2 books yet, but I had just bought that book, so because I want to binge read the series. So that's why I grabbed it for the picture. I want to read Ever the Hunted. I haven't read The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, so I want to read that this year. And I have one of the Harry Potter books at the very top. So just a little sampling of some books that I want to read this year, but I thought it'd be fun to actually take books that I want to read this year and take a picture of that. Now, I grabbed some of the die cuts that came with this collection, and it was kind of fun because I worked on all my layers first, and my stamping and everything, and then once all that was done, I was like, okay, now it's time to start putting down some embellishments. And I went and grabbed the embellishment package. I went through it. I found some stuff that I could use as my embellishment foundation. One of them was a little doily. I cut it in half and used it in 2 places. Another one was a sort of a little journaling spot, and then there was some beautiful flowers that matched the one that's with the heart that was inside that card. So I'm going to end up putting some at every embellishment cluster. I end up using some of the little enamel, my own flair. That's the word I was looking for, my own flair. I'm going to use a couple of those, and then the other stamp, the speech bubble one. And then I'm going to add a few enamel dots in black and in pink. And I have to tell you, these are some of my favorite layouts to do every year. I like to do my goals layout. I like to do a bookish layout. Tomorrow you'll see what I read in 2017. I love doing that, and I also love doing my one little word layout. All these are coming up back to back. I have them all done. I'll complete it. So stay tuned for some close-ups of each embellishment cluster and the layout. And that's it. That's going to complete this layout. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you're enjoying these videos, if you don't mind giving me a thumbs up and maybe leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.